What up, world? Welcome to the Fives of the Week podcast, episode 117. It's your boy, Philly.
Grandmaster B in Hollywood Apple Snatch.
Yes, it's just the three amigos today.
That's it. We're like old times, man.
That's right. Get well, Chi.
Yeah, get well, man. I was kind of bummed out that he couldn't make it, but hey, shit happens, and you gotta put your health before all the other stuff.
Absolutely.
That's
Good
what
call.
I'm saying,
Good
man.
call.
It's that time of year is going around, so
Yeah.
get well, Chi, and I'll be back in studio before you know it. So,
Snuffleupagus.
you don't say. Hollywood Apple Puss. How's your week, man?
Not bad. Going by pretty quick.
Yeah, how about this weather?
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
God, it just gives you what it does to your mood. How you feel.
Yeah.
Just to be outside, man.
Oh, I love it, man. Yeah. Windows down, music up.
Bright. You know what I mean?
The wind blowing through your hair.
Dumb.
GMB, how's your week?
Good, man. Until I went to fucking Wendy's today for dinner because that's what I had to do.
Damn,
man, dude, it was terrible.
What'd you get?
Well, I got the Baconator, man. So
Okay.
I wanted something with 2 patties, a little bit of protein and whatnot, and
What have you?
fucking salad's $10 for this burger, man.
Oh.
Right? So, and this is not what I typically would normally want to eat, but the wife had a hair appointment. Then she wanted to go visit my daughter up in Port Huron, and she's like, well, she goes, I know you're going over to, your nephew's house to do this podcast. She goes, so maybe just grab something on the road. I was this close to going to the Asian buffet. Oh, I wanted to tear up the chicken. I wanted to go there and just eat, man.
You be shitting before the first break.
Dude,
You don't come back here no
and
more.
listen, I mentioned this to the wife. I said, man, I'm just craving Chinese. She goes, I would not do that. She goes, because the last time you barely made it to the bathroom. And I'm driving all the way from up north back down here. Oh, yeah, it would have been just awful. So I just decided not to do it. So I went to the drive-thru and ordered this damn thing. And I was excited. I wanted to eat, man. I was starving.
A Baconator is good. Baconator.
Typically, it's very good, but this was terrible, dude. It was cold. I think I got the
God.
fries from lunch
Come
that
on.
were, carried over, and they're
on.
just sitting under the lamp. And so, one bite out of this burger, $10 and some change later, I couldn't do it, man. And I'm not a person that's usually going to walk in and bitch, but I'm like, dude, man, just give me back my money.
Yeah, that's why you just don't go to them
Is
places.
there a problem with it, sir? I mean, this guy couldn't even look me in the eye. I said, yeah, man, this shit's cold. And I said, man, I just...
Why? Why?
No apologies.
Oh, of course not.
No apologies.
Yeah,
And,
they look at you like you're inconveniencing
right.
them.
Yes.
I'm the customer, and there was another dude, ironically enough, waiting behind me with another bag. He's coming and bitching about the same thing.
yeah.
So I knew it wasn't just me. So I left the place, and I just took my money and
Yeah.
good day to you, sir. But other than that, everything is going good to Hollywood's point. The weather's good. The birds are chirping, man. Let's
The
get
birds, the bees, the girls, the
Oh, yeah, man.
clubs.
Isn't it crazy what one good day of weather can do to people's attitude, though?
Oh,
man?
yeah. No doubt about that.
Let me ask you guys this. I've been hanging out in Grosse Pointe for work the last week or so. Is that term Grosse Pointers, is that a thing? Because I don't know what it is. When you go down there, there's some very nice people, but there's a lot of snooty, motherless
There's some fucking very uppity
fucking
people.
noses in the
Yeah, they act like they're better than you.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's just it's the way they are. You go to a game, like I went to a game between the east side and then going to there, and they all got ski masks on like they're on a ski lodge.
What?
Oh yeah.
For what? What purpose is that?
I have no idea. Every kid's wearing ski goggles, girls and boys. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this the new trend? Like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. So
Interesting.
Fathers are coming in with the suit jackets, with the patch on the arm, Hi, Phil.
Looking like our geometry teacher back from 1988.
Hey, John, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, pharmaceutical. Yeah, he's coming in.
Was it a plaid jacket on top of it? When you
just-
mentioned the patches on the arms, like
It's
on the elbows,
Nautica, polo, this and that.
Right.
You get outside like, hey, man, you smell that dope bag, bud? It's crazy.
It's just
night and
weird.
day.
Yeah, someone walked by, hit me with a cardboard, sign, dude. I'm like, don't even say shit. You know what I mean? Just a look, not even, sorry or anything. What else? Yeah, just dirty looks. I'm like, man, what is going on?
Yeah, they know you're not from there. It's so sad.
It's like I've never seen a brown guy with tattoos before.
It's like,
What's this motherless fuck snake?
You know, there is something about that. The West Side, and I think what it boils down to, guys, is, to your point, there's a different kind of aura that kind of follows the money. Mm-hmm. And I'm not knocking it because, there's people that we all know that have money, Sea Rebel being one of them.
Oh, the elite.
And, I mean, when you're in that upper echelons, I mean, some people can carry yourself like regular blue-collar type folk, right? But then when you get to certain points in, like, areas, like I noticed it like in like Bloomfield.
Oh, it's even worse.
Lake Orion. Like zero personality or a right of entitlement. Mm-hmm. And I feel that oozing because we're inside.
If you don't use the proper words,
right.
They'll correct you. That was, what'd you say?
Incorrect.
Excuse me, what?
Like, what the fuck's wrong?
Did you Did you have an appointment to see the shit? Look at bitch, I'm here to drop off a sample. Where are you from?
You must be from the
East side. Where are you?
Where are you? Stand up.
Yeah, right,
And,
right.
Shout out to Grosse Pointe. There's a lot of great people there.
Knocking it, bro.
A lot of great customers, and I've just had some bad experiences down there.
I feel that.
Like I had these two younger rich kids try to race me. I was in like a Dodge, the old Dodge, just sitting out in my
Go sit down,
driveway.
dealer. Sit down, dealer.
Yeah, and they're in like a fucking souped up like Charger or something. Like, dude, really?
They're losers.
You ain't making a payment on that motherfucker, man.
Oh.
Right. They're not making payments, or folks are. But you mentioned Grosse Pointe. Like I think Sam Machichi, Cheech's daughter, lives in Grosse Pointe. But you know how Cheech is, man.
Oh, he's cool. He's the other side of the pillow, man.
Dude, man, come on, man.
And you got some, like I say, got some good people. That's where a lot of money come from. But you have your boozy people, man. They just act that way. Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, but I mean, we all know people high up on the food chain that don't act like that either.
No, absolutely not.
So I don't know what it is exactly, but that was just my experience this past week.
No, and it's worthy of talking about, and it does. You definitely could see that, and I think as you travel and go around, and when you go out down in Miami, you're going to see some fruity tooty type people out there when you're out that way, and you see different pockets. But I just think it's like, man, I don't know, man. I think we've been raised a little in a grounded situation. We didn't really have a lot, so we just kind of played the way we played and did what we did, man. I'm with you, man. Even if I had that fat stack, man, I wouldn't be fronting. You know what I mean?
I love people and I hate people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a goal.
From all walks of life, right?
Yeah,
From everywhere,
yeah.
all ilks. And it's like you can mix it up. All of us can mix it up with anybody. And
no doubt.
there's some people that just aren't like that. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to our buddy Mark and Gin and Tonic. They got a big show this Sunday for St. Patty's Day.
Nice.
Down at Grady's Sports and More.
Bar.
So go see them. I believe 7:30 p.m. it's kicked off. So go have a green beer with the boys. And big announcement for us. I posted on social media this week. We're doing our first live show May 4th at Grady's.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Come check us out. More info to come.
We're nervous.
I think you're nervous.
I'm a little nervous. Listen,
I'm ready.
I'm nervous because I've known Mark since high school, and there's a lot of stories. So I just hope after a few beers they all don't start coming out, because of course we're going to have our significant others there and stuff like that. And my wife say, "Well, I didn't know that about you." And there's just some things you just don't want people to know. How crazy you were. But Mark's a great guy. He's actually very smart. He's an IT guy. The guy lived a year in Las Vegas at the Golden Nugget.
Nice.
On Fremont. That's where he was living. And I talked to him actually yesterday about some computer issue I had going. He's like, "Dude, I lived in Vegas for a year, man." He goes, "The whole hotel was full of hookers." I'm like, "Well, how many came and visited?" Yeah, that's a different story. But he's so smart. He's an IT guy, computer genius, great musician. I can't wait for that night.
Absolutely. Looking forward to working with those guys. It'll be a fun night.
Yes, sir.
You ready for the sports news and more?
Yep.
From the Fives of the Week update desk. So, ladies and gentlemen, 4 years ago, the other day on the 11th, COVID-19 was officially declared a global pandemic by the World Health Organization after the coronavirus caused more than 118,000 cases in 114 countries and over 4,200 deaths. The World Health Organization declared it a global pandemic on that day. So that was this week.
You remember that.
And here we are 4 years later.
4 years later.
You look at how things have changed, loved ones lost.
God.
Many have fought through it, a lot of skepticism around it. You know, just glad to see the other side because life was so crazy.
Oh,
so
God.
different, too, man.
Yeah.
You know?
I still vision. You know, I was talking to a girl today at work, and I says, you see people, you know, and some are advocates. You know, they come there and they got a little sniffly. They put the mask on.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people mess, oh, you got COVID? You know, this and that. But I'm like, just think, you couldn't play with that
Yeah.
when you said that 4 years ago.
No.
Because that was real as real came. I said, look at us. We were a bunch of doctors working in an auto industry, all covered up, mumbling, don't know what your grill looks like. Mm-hmm. That's how we worked on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it was the most horriblest feeling to look around and go, I never visioned that I would come to work and work under these kind of conditions. And talking to bosses through, you know, like this, yeah, and everybody.
Yeah.
It was so weird to me. And we got through it.
Yeah.
But like we all, you know, your work, Master B's work, everybody, it was everybody was in. Everybody.
Everyone.
Not particular, you know, your business has been hit around the world.
Everyone.
That's what was unbelievable, man.
Yeah, for sure. I got this one's kind of a tear-jerking story, but I thought it was really cool, and it shows the bond between, you know, why a dog is man's best friend. So this man bid farewell to his terminally ill dog, embarking on a final journey together by pushing the beloved pet up a mountain in a wheelbarrow for one last memorable adventure. Carlos Fresco and his Labradoodle, Monty, who was battling leukemia, embarked on a big-time journey to, I can't even say this, but it's in Wales. So he pushed the dog up the mountain with a wheelbarrow.
Wow.
He shortly
Amazing.
passed after.
Wow.
So that guy punched his ticket to heaven, man.
Yeah, man.
That's a hell of a story. So shout out
is.
to him.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, you see it all the time. You seen a German Shepherd, the owner had passed, and they took the Shepherd out there to the grave, and that Shepherd would not leave. And immediately, so they left the Shepherd there. The Shepherd started digging. And that was just sad. And what he did was he dug enough and then laid in it on top of his own.
Oh, wow.
That goes and shows you. You can't tell me that they don't have. And it was weeping.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the most beautifulest things, but sad. You know? That this dog knew its owner was gone.
Right.
And wanted to lay, you know what I'm saying? And it's just touching, man. It's so touching.
It's a beautiful thing because they're only here for such a short period of time.
Ain't
you
that
know,
something
that's
when you
why.
look at it?
Yeah, when you get mad at them, sometimes it pisses you off. It tears something up, but it's like, you know what? It's only a short part of life, and you are their life. You know what I mean? So take it in context and just enjoy your animals. Be kind to them. You know what I mean? Treat them well. Spoil them.
Get them groomed. Get them, you know, whatever. Like, you know, like you just said, they're only here a short period of time, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Because I can get upset with Chapo and be like, you know, you can't go to the bars or anything and hang out and dance and get down and everything. You know what I mean? You're the pet. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're more to me than that. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to McDonald's unless I feed it to you. You can't order. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And your life could just be, what, a max 10 years?
Yeah, well, usually.
You know?
Some get lucky and go above it, but
Yes.
short period. 313 day, was it yesterday?
Today.
Today.
Today's
Yes, yes.
313.
Where am I at? Yeah. Sorry about that. Tell me 313. Shout out to the 313.
That's it. 313, but
You understand, but shout out to Detroit. So
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, that's all I got for news, boys.
Yeah, go ahead, Hollywood.
I got the House passes a TikTok ban. Passing the bill for the ban of TikTok.
Yes.
Telling you, which
So-
is a good thing.
When does that go into effect?
Well, it's got to go through a few more little things to, and then they'll give you the time thing on that. I think it's like a month thing, and then for the bill, and they're going to start banning it. Some of that stuff on there is just ridiculous,
Yeah.
and it's got brains pickled because they're so drawn in.
Yeah.
What do you TikTok? It's like, really? It consumes you?
I didn't get on it till later, you know, mainly for the podcast, and it is very addicting. And now there's all kinds of scams and things and whatnot.
And that's the sad part, man.
yeah, dude, it's almost too much. So I'm not, you know, against it. You know, I know we got some followers on TikTok and we like to push it, and
Yes.
you know, we'll just have to find another way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. I have Ohio is coming up with a baby box. So for people who get through a pregnancy and want to get rid of the child.
Interesting.
They go. The fire station's got these baby boxes, and all you have to do, and they know what it's about. You put the baby in there and leave the baby, and that's it. No questions asked. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Go on about your business.
So it's a safe way.
A safe way instead of leaving it out there in the trash can or this and that.
Yeah.
They give you, here, this is what you want to do it the right way.
I would say the right way is fucking wear a condom or don't fucking
Yeah.
knock a chick up if you're not ready
Right.
to
Well,
pay
of
the
course.
fucking
Yeah.
consequences.
And
But
Michigan's
unfortunately, we
trying
got
to-
idiots out there that are fucking and just
And it
dump
happens.
kids.
They stay in a little bit longer than they should.
Yeah, it's sad.
Well, it's definitely better than the alternative.
Yes. Third I got is Putin warns the West that he will go nuclear.
Tell me.
And this is a guy that needs to be taken care of. To threaten that kind of type of power and weapon because you have it and throw that around like it's a game, it's not. Them could do damage to, different parts of the world. If not, everyone gets involved, and that's it.
Yeah, the entire world.
You survive, you could be messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's-
So that's nothing to play with.
Oh, look at Agent Orange back in the day. How it
Yeah.
affects people later on. And,
Yes, yes.
God forbid, who knows what's in that shit, man?
Oh, God, man.
Who knows if something about that explosion with all those chemicals
You
and
don't.
things like that? You
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
There could be aftermath from that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's nothing to play with, man.
And did you know that with that aftermath, there was 2 fires after that a week later that
Really?
regenerated up when they started moving stuff like that, and they left it down, poured it down again.
Yeah.
Some coals got hot and started, flamed up again. They had to put it out again.
Wow.
Not as big,
Sure.
but it, when you thought they had it all, rejuvenated. Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird, man. I drove by there the other day and just to see it all knocked down back there, and
war
it's
zone.
weird.
War zone.
Everything's blocked off, coned off.
Do they have that still, Philly? Do they still have it marked off and like certain parts of that area? You
it's
can't
like down to
travel?
one lane.
Okay.
You can go, east and west, and then it's got cones, like you can't get into the back parking lot, nothing like that. So,
Onlookers, because they want to go in there and start going through their stuff, and they said that stuff's toxic.
yeah, stay away, man.
One guy's like, "Hey, they got knives on the ground."
That's crazy.
Hey, man, I think I could see a vape from here. I think I'm going to go grab it, man.
That's dumb.
Selling it on Marketplace and everything else.
Right? I can tell you this, though, dude. The dude or whoever was in charge of that place, boy, they're headhunting this cat right now.
Oh,
they
they
got the FBI involved. They got, like, hazmat people going to comb through this, and they're going to find
Oh, yeah.
as much dirt on
They
this.
said
as
they're going to
take
do
this
that
down.
in another month in April. They're going to hold off another month. But the owner, whatever, for the company came out today and said, we are very deeply, deeply sorry for what happened to the 19-year-old and all this stuff and everything around it, and that we are working with the police and investigators and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We send our condolences and everything to the family. We are deeply sorry what happened.
For sure.
What was this this guy owned this place that was he distributing through like all the party stores and all the vape shops and all that? Is that
I
what
don't know.
his
It's
primary
supposed to be
business was?
Yeah, it's a big timer.
Yeah. So they showed who he was.
No, they just put a thing on the.
My
About the
friend,
party.
you come to my store, I give you juice. We talk about it. It's like somebody's going down, and this fucking guy is going to pay a price that like no other, man, because there's somebody got killed.
Yeah.
That's a sad thing.
But no money. There's no. You can't bring it back. It don't
Yeah,
matter.
and that's something that's going to cause anybody that's going to be storing those type of devices in the future. They're going to be really, really watching it now.
Yeah.
It's just because look at what could happen. I mean, that's like an atomic bomb, dude.
Yeah.
That was bizarre to even watch that footage again.
I'd like to know exactly what happened.
Well, I think they're going to find out. Who knows? But that's scary to think that that much explosives and what
And
that
if something was deliberately
doing, man.
done, oh Lord.
Oh, boy.
Oh man, if that was the case, that's scary as
They
hell.
gone.
They
Yeah.
gone.
Oh yeah. There ain't no doubt there.
Very scary stuff.
All right, you good, Hollywood? Or you got more?
No, I'm good.
All right, B.
So, Philly, as you were talking about the COVID stuff, and I don't want to bring light of this, but the reality is, this again, great point you brought up 4 years ago. In the U.S., these are the cases of COVID that this is the total numbers now. Almost 112 million people. 112 million people in the U.S. Were diagnosed with COVID. Of those 112 million, 1,183 people passed from COVID, right? Now, so we talk about Michigan. In Michigan alone, in that 4-year time span, there was 3,299 people that were diagnosed and 44,654 people that were passed because of COVID. And I know that there was some things about how they were writing it off as COVID, even if it wasn't and stuff like that. But that's just some very large numbers.
Those were totals, right?
Those were totals, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, those were
Well, you know,
totals.
it's sad, too, when you say, well, it's a very small percent. And I'm like, it's a small percent, but it's a percent of someone's family member.
Yeah,
For sure.
My
So it's a
mother-in-law.
it's a big percent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And when they kept saying it, just kept pissing me off. Like, members have lost their family members. Mm-hmm. You can never replace that. So be very careful on how you sketch your words when it comes to very small. We understand that. But them lives matter just like anybody else's life. You know what I'm saying?
I just can't, and it's, we don't want to dwell on this, but you think back to that 4 year ago when it was so weird. In our lifetime, I hope I'll never see that again.
Oh, God, yeah.
But how everything, once it became as big as it was, literally everything shut down. We were all in our houses. We were watching the TV. We didn't know if we were going to be able to go back to work anytime soon. The roads were quiet. There's
I went live. Did you see when I went live on Facebook? Mm-hmm.
It was scary, man.
It was crazy.
It was like Armageddon, man. It was just weird. And they were showing Las Vegas, not a car on the street, downtown New York, man, nothing. Like everything was
I was
shut
scared
down.
to be in the store, man. And
Yeah.
come home, I'm wiping down the bag.
Right, man.
All my products.
My
like
hands
an
were
idiot.
chapping from all the freaking sanitizer.
God.
They couldn't get you sanitizer, and they were marking the sanitizer up at the stores because they knew they can get top dollar for it. It was almost like, and I'm going to talk
Nothing on the
about
shelf.
about this shrinkflation. But yeah, that was just bizarre, and I seen those numbers while you were talking about that. So here's one thing I want to talk about really quick. I seen this on the news. I'll play this small clip really quick here, guys. But this was rather interesting about water. See if I get this thing to play right here. Do I have it hooked up yet, right, or no? Maybe I don't. Let me see. Maybe I don't.
Medicine, adequate total.
Wait, hold on.
Every single cell in your body requires water, and it's so for every single process that happens in your body, we need that water.
According to the National Academy of Medicine, adequate total hydration for men 19 and over is 125 ounces a day. Just over 100 ounces should come in the form of a beverage. For women, the total is 91 ounces, with about 74 ounces being consumed from beverages each day. An often overlooked source of hydration actually comes from what we eat.
Fruits and vegetables is your best friend. Even if you can't get water, oranges, apples.
And yes, you can count your coffee, tea, and dairy. Low fat is best. Sports drinks count too, but they come with sugars and other ingredients that aren't as healthy or beneficial. Is alcohol fair game too? Does that count?
Yeah, it absolutely counts. There is some water in there as well. It can promote you to use the restroom a little bit more. So as long as you're drinking water with it.
Allegra says moderation is key. Back at the beverage.
That is so true, though.
Consumers are feeling the pinch from the
Yeah, so we were talking about this the other day, me and a buddy at work. We were talking about water, because I had drank a lot of water this particular day, and I was like, man. And there's so much value to that, So there's like, keeping allows your body cells to regrow, flushes waste out, lubricates your joints, just all the things that you don't think water, the essentials of what it means to you. And so I wasn't drinking enough water for like 2 straight days, and I've been drinking on water like crazy over the last couple months and just flushing everything out. And I didn't drink much water, and I noticed like, man, my pee wasn't the right color. We talked about this before, and I started feeling like my kidneys were starting to hurt or something. I was getting these pains in my back, and I was like, do you guys ever have that experience? Like maybe drink too much coffee or maybe too much soda, and it really does throw your whole system off. And that
Sleep like shit, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. You got to have that water. I drink probably 16.9 ounces. I probably have about 7 or 8 of them a day.
Do you really?
Give or take. It depends on other things. I had coffee in the morning.
Right.
So I kind of balance that. Zero Powerade.
Yeah.
That's, I think, 24 ounces or something like that. And then the water. And I always drink some water before I go to bed. And I'm getting up even in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Listen, because I take that thing. And my buddy was just telling me, he goes, I went to the doctors and he told me I was right there, dehydration. Mm-hmm. no wonder why I've been feeling bad. So I told you, Pete, you got to drink that water. He goes, I know, I don't drink enough. I said, he goes, my wife popped an IV, and oh my God, you ever had one of them?
IV, yeah.
I had one drunk. It felt like I never drunk at all. I was like,
It hydrated you, right?
oh my God,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
gone.
about.
I was
Yeah.
like nothing ever happened.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird because those couple days I wasn't drinking a lot of water. I was getting sluggish and shit like that.
You feel it. You feel it.
Yeah, man, you definitely feel it. So that's
It's your first
important.
warning sign.
Yes.
Drink your water, and a shout out to Sammy T with his
Eternal water.
Eternal water. So
And
yeah.
I just bought one at the Dollar Tree over there in
Samuel.
honor of you, Samuel.
There you go.
In honor of you, Samuel.
So drink water, and especially the stuff that Sammy T sells. Rats are infesting the New Orleans Police Department,
Oh,
guys.
God.
Do you guys hear about
Oh,
this?
boy.
Their headquarters
Oh, boy.
are getting the rats are getting high off the marijuana from the evidence room. Mm-hmm. The building is being overrun by cockroaches, mold,
Oh,
defective
God.
elevators,
Come
out of order bathrooms.
Mardi Gras.
What's happening is the rats are overtaking the structure, and they're eating the drugs in the evidence room, and these rats are eating all this marijuana, and they're just leaving. They're just acting crazy. They found their way, and these rodents can find their ways into the little crevices and whatnot, and that's what happens if you got some pretty shitty infrastructure. It needs some work, right?
He's a fucking rat, don't he?
He's a
it's
fucking
crazy.
rat. Can't
Shrink-
catch a fish unless his mouth's closed.
Shrinkflation. We've talked about this. There's something in legislation right now that they are trying to, and we've talked about shrinkflation. This is establish. There's an unfair thing that's happening right now with a lot of companies. Whether it's the cookies are smaller in the bag, the less chips in the bag.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pure. It's being taken advantage of right now by a lot of these big companies. And there's some legislation that's going in right now in Washington that's going to take care of that. I think justly so, because I think a lot of these companies have definitely taken advantage.
You're
Even the-
paying more and getting less.
Even the quality. Like I was just talking about
Yes.
this with my girl. You ever go to the grocery store, you see the lettuce in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Not fresh. You know, that's when it comes fresh, it's nice and green,
Mm-hmm.
but the bag, it's almost white. It's like near its end already when
Yeah.
you buy it.
I seen Kroger's the other day. I went, and I get the shred lettuce, always for like tacos and a tin of brown. And I'm thinking, one, okay, I'll move this one. Another one.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I told the guy, you see this, man?
Right.
He goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's one thing if the quality is, higher, but it's not. You're getting less and less quality for more money.
And you're paying $2.99. You used to pay $2.49 for it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting brown. No, I ain't having that. I'll go get a head of lettuce.
Dude, I've noticed that even in the simplest things, like once in a while, I'll treat myself. I buy like those $2 sleeves of like peanut butter cups, Reese's peanut butter cups, a little fun size, right? Well, fun size we know are smaller than the regular, but the fun size are now really small. They even shrunk the freaking Reese's cup, man.
Oh, there ain't no doubt.
It's like
That's crazy,
super
man.
small, and the package is this big, Hollywood, and the Reese's cup's this big.
Yeah.
It's like they're wasting money. The packaging obviously is less money,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you put less product and you get away with it.
Right,
And
right.
so that's a big problem. So there's a lot of people getting pissed off, including us, and a lot of people out there. And so the government's finally realizing, hey, man, people are definitely taking advantage of a situation over there. So
No, there ain't no doubt.
that's a big deal. So that's going to happen, and I think that was really all I had for news there, Philly.
No, that's good stuff. Well, obviously, it was a big week in sports around here, so I got a few things for you guys real quick before we get into, obviously, the NFL blew up this week with free agency, but
Oh, God.
real quick, did you guys see Pistons GM Troy Weaver get into it with that fan?
Yes.
So I guess,
Unacceptable.
he told him that, he's bad at his job, whatever. He said, you're lucky I don't beat your effing ass, whatever. He, got him kicked out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong? Is Troy Weaver fair for that or no?
Absolutely not. He's got to be professional. You got to understand, people that come there in them stands, it sucks because sometimes they get a little too verbal, but they're paying a ticket. As long as they're not putting their hands on you, derogatory, I don't like, especially with family or whatever like that, but you have to kind of hold your, turn your head. You know what I mean? Because people are going to, ooh, boo, you suck, this and that, and you have to be able to take that. And I understand now because we do suck badly.
Yeah.
We are the bad talk, and he is one of the pioneers who has to go.
Yeah.
So he got edgy, and that's what it said. He's probably going to be gone. You can't have that malice we had in the Palace.
And it's been tough sledding, man. I get the frustration because
Yes.
people, like you said, pay their hard-earned money to go see these games and paying crazy amounts for concessions. And we know that. It's part of the sports business. But when you don't have a good product, man, it's really tough sell. And if you know you got a bad team, you probably shouldn't be mingling amongst the common folk. Keep your ass in your suite
There you
to
go.
avoid all the bullshit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
absolutely.
these
I
people
agree.
are entitled to their opinions. I mean,
Absolutely.
when there's kids and stuff there, yeah, it gets crazy. I've seen a lot of shit going to Lions games, over the years as a young kid, but that's part of it, man. It is what it is. People work hard day in and day out to go support your team, man. They have an entitlement to their opinion.
We've seen the two
I support
girls that
that.
went at it, on the basketball, points other, and the one said, I want to make an apology, and
Yeah.
all I want to say, I wouldn't do it over. Why wouldn't you pick on the big girl? You go pick on the little girl, in defense, get all that. But there was apologies made, we can't act like that, this and that, heat of the moment, stuff happens. We just had earlier today, or yesterday, the Red Wings, two Red Wings in practice started fighting. They're on a, what's going on here, man? Edgy.
Yeah, that was my next thing. Oh, go ahead, B. Chime in on the Troy Weaver stuff.
I look at it, man. I think he hit it on the head, and you also. It's just, hey, that's what you could come to expect when you put a bad product out there. People want a winner. We talked about the Lions. I remember the Matt Millen days, and there was the Matt Millen March, and they were protesting outside the stadium, the bags on the head, and fire Millen.
Yeah, enough's enough.
I
man.
mean, people have enough of, we're passionate. Most people are passionate about their sports, but when you're putting a shitty product out there, a fan has every right. He paid the price to be there. If this guy doesn't have thick skin, he can't handle it. Fuck
Ace
him.
agrees.
You're in the wrong position.
He agrees.
Ace is with you, man.
Ace is with you.
Yeah.
Ace
for
be
sure.
with us.
There you go.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Yes, sir.
Next thing, so you brought up the Red Wings. Obviously, since they put this priority waste on their patch, or the patch on their sweater, it's been a downward spiral. In turn, you got to ask, how long does Steve Yzerman get before he gets warranted criticism? How long are we willing to give this plan?
I give him another year. And the reason why I say that, not because he's Steve Yzerman, what he took this team from, okay, they were just bad. And then he had to filter, move his players, get players in, figure out who's going to work. Not everyone we get works. We're figuring this out. The draft, the free agent. Okay, they thought we were going to get this one guy. We didn't end up getting. We got Kane, which is great. Thought we were going to get the first round pick. We didn't. It happens. And I don't think they're done, because as fast as you can go on a 4-game losing streak, you can go on a 6-7 game winning streak.
No, 100%.
And you got key players hurting, and that all contributes, man.
Yeah.
It's like I think he's another player away or two that he'll be able to pull that trigger, but I have to be able to give something up here in the farm.
For sure.
Okay, right now they're working, they're building, and that's going to get me to my next team. Talking about the Tigers here, I say one more year. After that, I've given you too long. I can't give you any longer than that. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think with hockey, considering where they came from,
Yes.
it's going to take a little bit longer. And people watching on YouTube, please chime in with some comments. Let us know how you feel. A lot of opinions on it. I think it's starting to get to that point, the tipping point with Steve, that, okay, man, we want to start seeing something.
Yes,
And
yes.
I believe there's still 7 games over 500, something like that.
Yeah.
So there is improvement, but it's just taking very, very long.
I believe they're on tonight, right?
I think so. I know they just lost to the Sabres. 7 goals. You know what I mean?
That was ugly. I watched. That was ugly.
It's been rough, and understand, Larkin's been out, and, they have their challenges, and they didn't make moves at the deadline, which came under high scrutiny.
Yes,
And he said
yes.
he liked the depth that he had in the organization. So we'll have to see what transpires, man. I mean, I hope that he can turn it around, because I got his jersey on my wall, but always my favorite hockey player. We all are. It's Hockey Town still.
And he's
even
a
though it's
proven
been
champion.
dormant.
He's one champion.
Oh, yeah.
But are we always a coach or a general manager? You know what I mean? But he's one in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So it's hockey's a little bit different.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I give him one more year to see. I got to watch how this goes, and there'd be a talking to.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we if not, then we're going to part ways.
Sure.
And I think that's more than fair.
Fair enough. Well, you want to bring up the Tigers?
Yeah, real quick, they have a good problem that we didn't have in a while. Okay, we got guys actually fighting for positions to get to this 26-man roster. And I've been keeping up on it. And these guys have been beating some good teams. Even though it's, they're filtering guys out. I'm watching who they're putting out on the field. I'm watching who the opponent is putting out on the field. And, Scott Norris is another one. Took a lot of critic. You ain't play baseball, this and that, the science, blah, blah, blah. This guy's making some moves. I'm telling you what, low market, where some of these guys are starting to pan out. And that system is getting built up where you will be able to get rid of nice, good prospects because they're proven to get you to that bigger player, a bigger pitcher. You have a possibility of manning one of your star pitchers of your rotation of 5 on the out, fighting for a position to get inside. That tells you something right there. You got that Ursula guy. You got him as your third baseman now. The one guy we really, really need to work on, and that's Baez, man.
I was just going to bring that up, man. Javi Baez and the strikeouts and starting again this spring.
Again?
Like, what is going on? And I know he had this issue coming in, right? Does it continue? Does it, you know what I mean? You look at that contract and you're like, man, does this really cripple the growth of this team?
What do you do? You tell me right now. You suggest to me what you think you should do with Baez right now. Is what rope do you give him?
I mean, you're not going to cut him in spring training. I don't think you can trade him with his value, in his contract. So I think you give that leash to start the season. But if that continues to snowball, you got to try to make a move.
I agree.
Because otherwise, it's just going to be a detriment to your team long term.
I agree. I say you give him from April. You give him before the All-Star. If he cannot seem to hitting them and the strikeouts are high, this and that, you've been given every opportunity, more than other guys.
Yeah, he has.
Okay? They put time, says, we got these construction guys working with him to work on his hitting and everything like that. Now you're not willing to learn. I'm going to take the loss on this one. Okay? And I'm going to go out and I got to get a bona fide shortstop. You cannot carry this because, and guess what? It's going to be on Hinch.
Yeah.
Hey, we've gotten a year better. Come on. Now we're going to come after you. And I think they're in a position where they want to go, well, you know what, Baez, we've given you everything, and we can't do it. Now we're ready to take the hit.
Paid you buku bucks, man.
Yes, and you didn't deliver. You didn't deliver.
100%. Well, let's talk about our beloved Detroit Lions, man.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
It's NFL free agency time. That first day, it was nuts. I mean, the phone was blowing up. ESPN was going crazy. A lot of movement. My biggest shocker, it's the running back movement around the league. Now,
so many.
I mean, Henry to the Ravens. Joe Mixon traded to the Texans.
I thought about you when Mixon. I'm like, are you kidding me? What was wrong with this guy?
Coming off a great season. I don't know if they're trying to get younger. You hear that, the Bengals are in on Justin Jefferson. This is all the stuff I argue with you about, that can't happen. The shit happens all the time now. So I'm dead in the water with that argument. I can't even say it anymore.
You see what happens. In this year alone, do you see a difference over the past 5 years?
Oh, 100%. Because now you can see where that money is transferred into bonuses. They find different ways to work that money. Like, where the hell does Philadelphia get all this money from?
I don't understand it.
I'm dumb to it now. I used to think I had a compass on how the fuck it works, but I really don't anymore. So
the guarantee shit.
Yeah. I mean, so let's talk Lions, B. What do you think? What is your thoughts with the moves that the Lions made or lack thereof? I mean, how do you feel right now?
I mean, who do they pick up? What, a defensive back? Is that who they picked up?
So Carlton Davis, he's 27, traded him for a third-round pick. I think there was 2 other picks involved. Anik Robertson from the Raiders.
I love
another
that pick.
Corner. Younger, scrappy guy. Marcus Davenport from the Vikings, who I think has high upside as a pass rusher. Not a huge name, but he was really good with the Saints for a few years. And they kind of gave up on him and brought Glasgow back and Skipper, and I think Reynolds as well. So it's kind of flying under the radar. DJ Reader coming in tomorrow. Hopefully we can lock him down. And who knows, maybe we land in Armstead or something like that. Now you're looking pretty good.
You think Bosa?
I would love it. I just don't know if it's going to happen. It just doesn't seem like that's Brad's mentality. I don't think he wants to spend big on free agents because you look at the year. I'm just
And
going to
the
cite
injury.
this one example is when we went and got the best edge rusher in Trey Flowers, Rick Wagner, the best tackle, and I think it was Justin Coleman, the top slot corner. We won 3 games that year.
Yeah.
And we shit the bed after that. So, I don't think blowing up big money in free agency is necessarily the key to success.
What about your boy Kaminsky taking a 2.1? I love it.
That, too, another unsung move. So, I think that was good.
I mean, Johnny boy, thank you.
Yeah.
That shows me you want to win the team player. I'm willing to take a 2.1 to stay here.
100%.
That speaks volumes.
Love Kaminsky, man.
He caused a lot of havoc, and people. Well, Kaminsky didn't have the year. It's like this guy took on 2 and 3 fucking people.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy, I watched him. I pay attention to some of the detail on the line when he's in there in Hutch, and you're trying to different ways of how these guys can get in there, and I think one of the biggest wins was probably Henry going to the Ravens. You know that backfield has got 2 Mack trucks coming out of that backfield.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Edwards and Henry, wow.
Well, Edwards is now in L.A. with Harbaugh with the Chargers.
Oh, he went. Okay.
Yep. So
Okay.
it'll be Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry. It's like thunder and lightning.
I like Edwards. I'm a big fan of Edwards. And I know Eckler gone.
Commanders.
Williams is gone now. They signed Mack.
Yeah,
So he's staying.
He took a pay cut, yep. Restructured, whatever.
What about Hunter going to Texans? God, that was our guy, man.
Houston, you are going to be a problem.
Yes, absolutely.
They're going to be good, man.
Yes.
There might be that team in the AFC to maybe contend with KC because they loaded up big time. And I think if Stroud continues to take, that accelerated step, man, they're going to be really good.
You see Jefferson possibly going there?
They were talking about him going to Cincy. I don't see how that works.
I can't see that.
Could you imagine Jefferson and Chase in the same field with Burrow?
That'd be sweet.
I mean, come on.
But what
Not
about
if you're playing
Stroud? Stroud in Jefferson.
I think they're good because they got Tank Dell and Nico Collins, and I think they added somebody else, too. I think they'll be all right with what they have. Schultz is coming back. And that offense was awesome.
What about who do you go after as a receiver? Once you land with your defense where you want to be, do you go for that 4th man?
The 4th man.
The 4th man. Who would you go with?
You talking about the Lions?
The Lions. Higgins?
I
Williams?
love T. Higgins. I mean, I just don't see, because he wants number 1 money. Is he going to get that? And you're going to have to trade something to get him, right? Because he's not just a free agent. So I just don't see that happening. But, Mike Williams from L.A. got released.
I seen that.
I mean, if I can get him around that 10 to 15, which is probably on the low end, I'm probably, underballing that. I would love to have him here as a big body.
You think he's better than Reynolds? You think he's...
Mike Williams healthy? Yeah. But the thing you risk is that team camaraderie. Reynolds, that's Goff's boy. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. He knows the system.
It's got to be the right player.
Is he gone yet? He's gone, ain't he? Our Reynolds?
Not yet.
No. Still on the roster. He ain't been released. But there's been a lot of movement. Jimmy G's out of LA, or Vegas right now.
Yep.
You just mentioned Mike Williams is gone after 7 seasons with the Chargers, and Harbaugh's going to change that dynamic. But yeah, I mean, you asked a question about what I think the Lions. I think the Lions still need to address some stuff, and I still think they're going to put a big name on their roster. I still think there's somebody or someone that they're probably eyeing that might come around. We may not know that for another week or so, but when all the dust settles, I still feel like, we talked about this earlier, you and I, Philly, I still think that we're going to move somewhere in the draft. I think we're going to position ourselves to go after another big player somewhere, somehow.
That's where the key could be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talk of what's his name over in Chicago, the quarterback. They wanted. I don't know if they want to use this guy for trade bait. Maybe wait till the season starts. Maybe preseason. Maybe when a quarterback goes down, and they can use Fields as a maybe a token for a trade or some kind of bait. But what are they? I mean, why would you want to get rid of a guy like that? Some of these teams are just starting to build. I'll tell you what, Minnesota, they're
shit to bed.
They really fucked up.
Let's talk about that because you brought it up to me earlier. Kirk Cousins, this guy, the heist of the century, right? I mean, think about this: him and RG3 drafted in the same season. One's there was a meme about one's making doofus comments on ESPN now. One's making more money than Tom Brady.
Yeah, he made more money than Tom Brady as a player.
And Kirk was drafted post third round, so it's like, man, you just never know.
You just never know, man. I mean, and the money's so big right now for these quarterbacks. One thing I want to bring up is I feel like the running back position is being watered down for what it's worth. And I say this because if you look at the running backs that are in the league right now, Derrick Henry, you talked about, great running back. He could probably do some major damage over in Baltimore.
There's no
without
doubt.
question. They're stacking a team over there.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, they're pulling rabbits out of their ass basically right now. They're playing to win, and they're playing to
in
win the Super Bowl.
desperation.
They realize time is ticking with who they have, so they have to make a play. They got to make a splash.
Yep.
And I feel like we're going to be there in another year or so, and hopefully coming up this season we'll be that good, but we have to make that splash. My point with the running backs is what's going to happen. Like, we remember the running backs we watched, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders. I mean, all these great guys, Davis. I mean, just name them. These guys are Hall of Fame players. What running back do you see right now that's going to go in the Hall of Fame? It might have 6,000-7,000 yards, or they're throwing these running backs away like they're not a needed position.
Henry will be
they're
there.
overpaying for fucking tight ends right now. They're getting paid. DBs are getting paid. Linemen are getting paid more than running backs. Running back is still a very big part of the game.
It is. It's just not as, I don't know why, it's very underappreciated now.
Because it's gone to a throwing game.
Yeah.
It's changed.
The
It's
league has
changed.
changed so that the running game is not as prevalent as it was 15, 20
You got
years
running
ago.
quarterbacks now.
Right, you got these hybrids. You got these guys that can run, but these guys are living large.
Montana,
for
them guys, they didn't do the running. They stayed in the pocket.
The athleticism of the league has
Yes.
changed, but
Yeah.
there's also a dynamic need for running back. But these guys are being discounted like they're basically cornerbacks now. Now the cornerbacks are getting top dollar.
Well, see, that's what I like about
tight
Detroit.
ends are getting paid top dollar.
To your point, we got Gibbs and Montgomery.
I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference,
And,
guys.
these guys, like, they overpaid for Swift, I thought. Chicago spent big money on Swift. Aaron Jones goes to Minnesota.
God, waste.
Josh Jacobs goes to Green Bay. So
And
I
they
still
not
like our
signing
team,
for
man.
big money, Philly. They're not signing for huge money.
no, but it's more than our guys.
They are, but I still think what you just brought up, the two running back situation we're in right now, I'd trade that all day for one stud. I like what we're doing there. I think it's still a big part of the offense. And I think
So wait, you're saying you would rather have one guy than two?
No, I'd rather have the two guys.
Oh, okay,
I'd rather
right on.
have those two really good running backs that you could platoon because
Oh, yeah,
Montgomery
yeah.
goes down, you got Gibbs. And I think the game still needs the running game. There
Oh,
still
for sure.
needs to be that dynamic part of your game because you could get pass happy, but your defense could key on that. They could team up on your wideouts and stuff like that. And you leave that guy like Gibbs or Montgomery open up the middle, man, you got hell to pay because you spread your defense out to cover receivers.
Yeah.
But I think the game's gotten so to the point now where they kind of discounted the running backs.
Well, you can see it right with Miami. They go to KC, play a frigid game. Mm-hmm. You can't throw the ball. You know what I mean? You got to be able to run the rock.
And I talked to this buddy at work, and I told him, I said, if you had the chance right now to trade Montgomery, or make a move and get Henry here, and you have Henry and Gibbs, would you take that? Because Gibbs is going to take over anyways. Montgomery's not going to stay here forever. In a couple of years, he's going to be trade bait because Gibbs is going to be the man. You would have Henry here for them few years. He's going to be gone as well. It doesn't matter. But you have a powerhouse.
But don't you feel like
But he's
Henry's
a
like
belt.
he's towards the end?
Yeah, I think
I still think he's got a lot left,
I
man.
think the wick on his candle's getting shorter than Montgomery. Montgomery's younger than we think. I think Montgomery's still got a little more in
He
the
is.
tank.
Yeah.
And I think he's playing in the right system with the Lions having a good offensive line. Yeah,
But is he going to get the big money? Because they don't
Henry-
sign running backs.
You know? I think that's the winning formula. That's why I like and I trust Brad Holmes.
Yeah,
I feel like I
I
like what
see-
he's
I
doing.
like what we're doing.
Henry is? You see how big that son
Yeah,
of a
no, he's
bitch
a
is?
big dude, man.
And he come from Alabama.
But
Alabama.
He's a hard runner. I mean, we watched him when he played. I mean, the guy is just an animal when he's in Tennessee. I mean, he got
Oh,
that big
he's
old
ridiculous.
fucking with that raccoon tail hanging out of the back of his helmet and shit
Saban's
like
like,
that.
I coached him at Alabama, all right, and he was pretty damn good.
Right,
and
right.
He's going to win a lot of ball games, all right, and that's what we're going to do.
What if he had the star? What if he was wearing the star?
Star.
I thought I was going to see that.
I knew, like, Baltimore made the most sense, but I was thinking Dallas was going to hop in there and get him
I said,
because they
oh
let
my
Pollard
God.
go. They got Deuce Vaughn as their starter right now. Like, come on, man.
I couldn't believe that.
Look what
Where you
happened
going?
when you talk about Dallas when Elliott was there.
Yeah.
Right? They used him and abused him, and it was so predictable. It was run, throw, run. And what happens if you wear that running back out? They had a couple backups, but I'm telling you guys, the league has gotten away from valuing a good running back, a good running game. Mm-hmm. It's good to have them stud receivers that are going to get you 1,000, 1,400, 1,500 yards, these big, St. Brown. And it's exciting to watch that kind of football, man. But you still got to have that element of surprise. And you better have a good running game.
And Henry's injury is not really anything. This guy is a freaking Earl Campbell, modern-day Earl Campbell with speed.
Yeah, man.
He's a beast, man.
It takes 3 and 4 motherfuckers to get him down every time.
Now, behind our O-line, he'd be a fucking tank.
God.
Yeah.
Like, I really believe that, but I just feel like
It comes from
Alabama. Where he's at, coaching Alabama. And I think, the dynamic that we have is great. That's why we have money to invest in the defense, invest in the skilled players and that offensive line. Hopefully this year the defensive line, because I still feel like we got to get stronger there.
Absolutely, yeah.
You understand?
We need that end.
Yeah.
We need another bona fide and like I said, we're going to trust in it. There could be a big thing coming. That
I believe there is,
know.
man. You asked me what I thought of what the Lions did. I think they are fulfilling the needs they have to necessarily get with free agents right now. Mm-hmm. I still think there's one big player coming our way, and I also think there's going to be some movement in the draft to go for a stud. That's
where he catches and you go, damn, I never seen that coming home.
Yeah.
And you got to think a guy who's been here now for 2 seasons, had great drafts, and awarded top GM because of what he did here in 2023.
Yes.
Come on, man. What team drafts like we did it automatically has got 4 or 5 immediate starters?
I want it to be a jaw dropper. Be like,
that's unheard of, dude.
Yeah.
It's totally unheard
I think 3 of the 4 rated A, and I think someone was rated a B.
We're
think it was
talking
Campbell.
Pro Bowl type players, guys. These are rookies, man. They
did a
made
great
something
job.
out of it.
And what about Kelsey? He may still be out there as far as Kansas City don't know what they're going to do with him. If they're going to keep him.
We don't. I mean, we wouldn't need a Kelsey. I mean, we got Laporta.
Yeah.
Laporta,
great guy.
I think there's some crazy shit still coming.
I see a receiver.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Right now, I'd be tickled pink if we can come away with Reader and like Armstead. Because you got...
I like Armstead, too.
Armstead to anchor that opposite of Hutch.
I'll put Armstead down there.
Yep.
Coming from Frisco, who's a stud. He's a beast. He's a proven veteran. And then you put Reader in there with McNeil. I mean, come on, dude. That's one of the better defensive lines in the league.
The North is going to be tough.
Oh, for sure.
Okay? You got Chicago going to have one of the best defenses. If Chicago was smart, they would trade that number 1 pick and get a bunch of guys and say, hey, we got Fields, we'll work with it. We get him a good quarterback coach in here, right?
Well, they did that last year with
Carolina. They're going to screw it up with Caleb. He's going to be a falter. And then, oh, man, this kid's going to go off somewhere. And I can't say. He could be Detroit. Never know.
You know what I think, though? I think it's going to be Minnesota. I think they're going to go up and get him. I do. I think O'Connell, he needs a quarterback. And I think that's going to be the team to do it.
You know, Hollywood, I talked to Philly about this earlier today. The Lions are not playing a powder puff schedule coming up this season.
Absolutely
These
not.
are just the regular. They're going to play 9 home games this year instead of 8, right? So they're playing 9 home games, 1 less preseason game. Of course, your division teams, Bears, Packers, Vikings. The rest of the home games, Buffalo, Jacksonville, LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay,
Watch out for the Rams, too,
Tennessee.
now.
And they also, they got, I believe they're going to be playing, they got Dallas, they got San Francisco again this year. They do not have a light schedule by no stretch. We're talking a lot of these are competitive football teams that are playoff caliber type teams. You have to position yourself to be able to play. You
Some would
can't
say
just
it's
shit the
a
bed.
hard schedule.
And I don't look at Chicago as beating them twice this year. Not with the moves they're making.
And don't be surprised. Listen, we won 12 games. That was a great season.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
we drop down to 11, maybe 10, still get in as a seasoned veteran team now.
Get in.
Just get in.
That's all.
Contend for that division. Get in there and handle business.
That's what she says. Just get in.
We had a match this season, 2 home games, almost to a Super Bowl. I mean, you got to carry that momentum over, and you got to up the ante now. You definitely got to go out and find those key players, and I think that's what Brad Holmes is doing right now. He's getting
people got to look at that too.
Value for some of these players.
What you said, you know what I mean? Oh man, you guys won 12 games last year. Well, look at the schedule you got. they want to flap off with the gums real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you suck, this and that. If you look at the schedule, I didn't look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
like you say, it's gotten tougher.
For sure.
We've been on that side too, Hollywood, where we've paid marquee players top dollar.
Yeah.
Think of all the number one draft
Swilling.
picks. I mean, we've paid them all, man. We paid a ton of money even to Matt Stafford, and you put all your eggs in one basket of a Megatron or. And it's great to have that one player you're rooting for, but you got to win with the whole team. So you got to really be careful of how you're spending your money.
I like where we're going.
And
I think we're going to land a linebacker, too.
And that's why when you got to have guys like Anzalone, guys like Reynolds, even though he shit the
Hungry.
bed,
You want 'em
like
hungry, man.
middle tier guys that play their role that don't cost a ton of money.
Right.
Because every championship team does it. And I posted something about, I think it was Baltimore, KC, Detroit, and San Francisco on day one. Made 0 free agent signings. Those were the final 4 in the league.
Bingo.
So don't put all your money on the fucking offseason.
Sometimes it ain't always about the best players. Look at Russell Wilson. He's going to take a step back. He's going to Pittsburgh. That might fit him pretty well.
Good fit.
I think that's going to be a good if that's where it ends
Better
up.
than
I'm not
Pickett.
sure if that's done yet, but you guys hear if that's where he's going. But that was
he's going.
rumored.
Oh, it's a done deal.
It's a done
Yeah.
deal. So I think he'll thrive in that system with Tomlin. I think he's a different type of coach. He could take the ego of a Russell Wilson and center it and say, "Look, man, we got Lombardi trophies in our showcase. We can show you how it's done here the Steeler way." And I think
what are we
his
doing with
coaching
Hooker?
style will adjust to him.
What are
And
we
you
gonna do
watch,
with
he'll
Hooker?
flourish over time.
Real quick on Russ, he had 26 and I think only 7 interceptions
Yes,
last year. So
yeah,
Russ
bad
had a
quarterback.
good season, man.
And my boy Minshew. Well, get this
He's
guy.
started
He's on
with
the
the
move.
Raiders.
He's on the move.
I'm excited about that, but what he get a $10
Stay with it
million
now. He's with the Raiders.
The Raiders. I'm
He
sorry.
ain't
He
with
got
Buffalo anymore.
a $10 million contract, but he's got life. But he's no more than a backup, an average quarterback at best. But
He can keep you a bay like Hill did.
Right.
Sean Hill.
There
he
you
can
go.
keep you
There you go.
in the mix, okay? To go in all season, he's just not made that way.
I think he's going to be their guy.
You think so?
I really do.
You think he's going to
I
fit
think
that
he's getting
Vegas
his shot.
thing?
Yep.
Yeah. See Minshew hanging out at the casinos like Papa Giorgio,
I don't know, man.
looking like a porn star.
Where'd he go?
Star.
Where'd he go?
Las Vegas.
Vegas.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, y'all. It is now time for the Fives of the Week, episode 117. Today we are doing our top 5 moments with siblings, as always, brought to you by 24th Street Pizza. And this should be a fun one. Reminisce about
Yes.
the sibling rivalries and young times and old times of new. So Hollywood Apple Snatch. Go ahead and kick it off, Reds.
Oh, God. Every one of them's number one to me in my heart. We used to have this lot next door to our house.
Oh, yeah?
And everyone came there to play ball. Everyone came there to football. And majority of the time, me and my brothers, we ran the gullet. And we used to have this at wintertime. We'd build a big old pile between the tree and the fence. It was the 4th and goal line. And you had to get over it and score a touchdown. But you took a beating. There was some people left with broken arms with a leg or an ankle or a busted lip. And you would have me and all my brothers. And that person would run the ball against us.
Let's get it, dude.
And it was so tough. And we've even won against each other because that's how competitive we was. And I'll never forget it. I love that part, that 4th and 1, and it's no longer there because there's a home there, but I still see the spot in the yard, and I look at it and go, God, I remember that. And you cherish them times. And I love that moment so much to see that we did that and all bundled up and got the gloves and you're naming out which player you are, and you know what I'm saying? Just great, great times, and that's one of mine.
I was fortunate enough to play there with you guys one time when I was
Yes.
younger. That was
Yeah.
a fucking blast.
Something special about the yard.
Yeah, it was that lot. It's not there, and you can bypass it because everyone noticed. They looked at the lot, then there was their house.
Yeah,
Now it's houses, and they're lost.
right.
It's kind of sad.
Sometimes you just want to drive by and grab a Colt 45 and spill some for the homies.
You know what I'm saying, man?
There's homes it out, but
No, that's awesome. I love that, man. At least you got those memories that'll last a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
It was different. Yeah, you had brothers, man. So it was different when it's just boys, man. You know,
Bikes
I had a
everywhere.
sister and I had a brother half time, so Stone didn't know what day it was, but that's a whole different story. But it's different when you got memories with your sister and stuff, and she's painting your toenails.
What's his name? Tommy Chung.
Struggling. Can I curl your hair? What? No. No, man. I got great memories with my sister, man.
Hell yeah.
That's a good one, though, bro.
Go ahead, B.
All right, so I actually called my sister up today because I was struggling with a couple of these. I could think of a few, and man, I called her up, and she's like, "Don't you remember?" And oh man, they were just coming out one after another. So once she brought up, she goes, "Don't you remember when I used to take your car when you finally figured out that why your gas tank was always low when you went to work the next day?" Because I thought I literally had a hole in my gas tank. I thought I did. I didn't. It was just when I was going to sleep to get up to go to work the next day, she was waiting for me to go to sleep to take the keys off the counter and take my car.
What car did you have?
I had a Buick Skylark.
Okay, I remember driving her Horizon. I think it was.
that would have been one of her cars, but mine was a Buick Skylark that kind of looked like the old Nova, but it was like the smaller version of a Nova, but it wasn't quite as nice. But I put, air shocks on this thing, and it looked really badass. I had some nice rims on it, so it looked like a muscle car that didn't have no speed to get out of its own way.
Right.
But I took good care of this thing. I took that thing over to Earl Scheib. I had it
that's it,
painted
Earl
there.
Scheib.
I had it pinstriped. I was pimping
Whatever
it out.
happened to Earl Scheib?
Earl went out of business, man. Earl struggled. Earl's out of
Back in the
business.
day, the Fall City, but
Yeah, man. He's out of business, man.
Business.
So, anyways, I had this thing tricked out. This is my pride and joy, man. It's like my first nice car that I could have. And then my sister would be taking this thing out for joyrides, visiting her boyfriends, man. When I was in bed, I get up in the morning, start it up, and I'm like, God damn, I just put a half a tank of gas in this car. And it'd always be coming up low. And then finally, years later, she fessed up. She goes, I said, God damn it. See,
Come here, goddammit.
she was pulling the wool over my eyes, and I was too dumb to figure it out.
she's like,
man.
oh, yeah.
My little sister would never do that to me. Oh, bullshit. And I got some more shit here to talk about, too, in a minute. God
His
damn
sister,
it.
my mom, so it's all
Yeah,
it's one
way to go,
family.
girl. Way to go. Love you.
Love you, mama.
Some things haven't changed. She'd still do that shit to me if I was living with her. God
She's
damn it.
one of the coolest, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
man.
I don't know.
So yeah, like Hollywood, I have 3 brothers, another brother and a sister that live in Indiana. Unfortunately don't have many memories, but one is on my list. So growing up in the townhouses, it was such a tight knit community, and we used to play football in this little stretch. There's this. You remember Chuck, the Lebanese Italian dude?
Oh, yeah.
Big Chuck. I think
yeah.
he was a mob boss. I think he was a big guy.
Hey,
But-
get off my lawn.
He'd
over
always
there.
buy his pizza, look how Vors bring us ice cream and shit. But I remember that stretch there where we used to play ball, and you had to get around a tree. And I remember my brother Nick, I threw him the ball, and he ran into the tree, and this motherfucker quit and went home, man. He's fucking done after that.
Sports ain't my thing. Bullshit.
Those townhouses, so many freaking memories. The football games, the capture the flag. We'd play the streets. So there was a street that ran through the middle of the townhouse. So that side would play the other side. You know what I mean? The cliques would go against each other. So many good memories, man. When Mom would go to work, we'd fucking tear the house up. Having wrestling matches, flying down the steps. We're hopping in laundry baskets, going down the stairs.
Going down the steps.
If her and my stepdad would have saw what we did, they'd fucking kill us. But man, we did some wild shit.
Who broke my laundry basket? I don't
That's
know.
something.
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
for as crazy as it was at times, we really made the most of it. So I'll always cherish those moments, man.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Good one, man. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
there's a lot of stories about that place, the townhouse.
I could really throw, Nick under the bus with some shit he did, pissing and shitting on porches and
Literally
stuff.
shitting in someone's boot. Your mom told me that.
It's
She
the
goes,
boy shitting
and
on
I hope I'm
himself.
not taking your thunder. Your mom tells me today, she goes, oh, we got some for Nick, too. Don't forget to mention when he shit in somebody's boot. I'm like, what? She goes, oh, yeah. I go, how did he do that? She goes, he just whipped his pants down and put his butthole by the boot and shit in some guy's boot. I'm like, who Who does stuff like that? I want to have revisit that with Nick one day.
Smell the booze.
Shout out to you, Nick. I didn't mean to pick on your mom. Brought it up, not me, buddy.
No, it's funny, man. One time we had. Do you remember Gladys, the old babysitter? Now this lady, she was a hoarder, right? We went to her house one time. She'd have newspaper stacks. You know, she was nice to us. She was great. But yeah. Long story short, we were throwing shit at each other, and I threw one of those toy cars, like a Matchbox car, and we had, you know, the old school where there was like mirrors on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Fucking threw it at Nick, and I broke one of them. So my parents were bowling at the time. They come home, my mom smacked the shit out of me. I got the ass whipping for it, of course. Which I threw it, but they were throwing shit too, fucking shit up. So, you know,
you guys are bad.
I took a lot of ass whoopings in my day.
And the poor kid was so innocent. I mean, like as a child, this is my godson, man. This kid was like an angel. Like he was the most quietest, most kept little kid. But what happened to you, man?
I don't fucking know. It went off the rails somewhere.
Snap ahead Junior over here, but no, he turned out to be a great man, great guy. But yeah, he was so quiet. But this kid always took the wrath for everything because he was the older brother.
Yeah.
He always had to take the heat,
yeah.
man. And I just remember some shit. I'm like, man, that wasn't his fault, man. But the older brother always got to take
cost
that
of being the boss, the tribal chief.
I'm telling you, man, they got much respect for you now, though, man.
No,
Promise
100%.
you that.
Love my brothers.
Yeah. You gotta love them, the four brothers.
All right, so.
Here's another one. This is funny as hell. Well, Taco Bell, when Taco Bell first came, was made there. It was the biggest thing out in DeVille. Imagine. We're like, God, I think tacos were 19 cents, 29 cents. And they had these tostadas. And then tacos were the best. So we would tell our little brother, in order for you to get something, you're going to go up there and get it. And we'd give him a little money. He'd get up on his bike and he'd just get up in there and pedal it. Go get the order. Come back and see him flying around that car with that bag. He was excited because he was getting something to eat.
Yeah.
So we'd give him a little something. We got more money. Hey, Carlo, go back up Taco Bell. Okay, I will. Now you get what do you want? Tostada or whatever you want. You get that and then you get this. And he was the runner.
Man, he was the mule, man. Y'all, you guys put, hey,
He was the mule.
Ricardo, come over here.
Let me tell you something, Pandeo.
He'll tell you the story.
Bad.
These guys made me do that because he wanted something to eat. So in order for you to do it, you're going.
Right.
You know what he had, Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yes, he
he
did.
must have made, I ain't lying to you, man. He had to make about 6 or 7 trips.
Oh, damn.
He was the mule.
Touche.
He was the mule before Clint Eastwood was the mule.
Yes, we would turn bottles in. Hey, man, we got like $1.80, $2. Okay, well, we get 2 tacos. We get this.
Yeah.
He come back one time, said I didn't have enough money.
It's like, Brother Sal, I didn't have enough money. They told me to come back. And you're like,
Fuck you gonna do, man?
That's what I'm saying, man.
what's talking about, man? It's take and come back. Wow, he was the mule.
Shout out to Tucci, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So the next one I put on was we used to take these trips to Bablo. This is going back, man. Remember Bablo? Did you ever get a chance to go to Bablo?
I did a couple times.
Fucking man, I miss that. You know, we used to do the boat, and then my dad always had a boat, and then one year the idea was they had a marina.
Yeah.
And my dad decided, hey, we're going to go on a weekend trip to Bablo, and we're all like, a weekend trip, man? I thought you got to come back the same day you go. Oh no, we're gonna boat. We got a boat slip for 2 nights, and we had like 2-day park passes and everything. Great, had a great time. My sister reminded me of this today, and on the way back, coming back from Canada, because that's where it was at, we came into some very bad weather on Lake St. Clair. And I swear, we all thought we were going to die. I mean, we were on this, 27-foot Bayliner boat, and we're battling through the waves. It looked like something out of The Deadliest Catch, man. And all I remember was my dad saying, sit down, don't be moving around. And the boat's going like this and everything. My brother Tommy's at the front of the boat puking his brains out.
Oh, damn.
My sister's crying, we're going to die. We're just all freaked out. And my mom's like, Rich, get us out of here. What are we doing? And my dad's hitting the panic button. We're all trying to follow this there's about 5 boats that went. And we're all trying to make our way back, and it was just bad weather. And I mean, there was a point in time where I thought the boat was flipping. We hit some waves, and you get into that swell, you know, where you catch the wrong side. Swell. And you hit the waves, and it brings it back. And I mean, shit was flying everywhere. And this was a big enough boat that you could sleep 4 or 5 people in it. But I just remember having all this fun, being totally sunburned, and having so much fun at that amusement park. And then the next morning, we had to get up and leave, and we're looking at the weather, and my dad's like, man, there's some bad clouds coming, and everybody was talking, the guys he was with, and yeah, let's just get going now, we'll hit the throttle and go on, we'll make it. And then all of a sudden lightning's coming in.
Out of nowhere.
It was scary, man. And my sister's like, don't you remember that? I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about it. But that was scary, but a very memorable moment in my childhood, because if you want to talk about the sphincter tightening up, that's when I realized the butthole syndrome plays an effect.
Because the new meaning of puckered asshole.
I mean, I had this orange life vest on, you know, and it's like, I'm a little kid still. I'm like, I can't see where we're at. You know, all I could see is waves coming over, and it's kind of scary, man.
That is wild.
Felt good to get back on land.
Nice. Yeah, I bet, man.
Then I fell in love with cruising. I don't understand it.
How you doing?
Maybe it's a bigger boat. I don't know.
Well, do you get seasick as much on a cruise ship, though?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you'll see these people wearing these little patches behind their ears and stuff, and you just walk up to them and go, pussy.
Bush.
Yeah, bush. And they got stabilizers on these things. It's like just fucking, you know, like you're drunk with sometimes. You might feel it once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on an ocean, but for God's sakes, these are 900,000 foot long ships.
Yeah.
And they're very, they're pretty stable.
Right on. So my next one is, so Mikey was like maybe 2 or 3. Andrew was like, I want to say 6 or 7. And me and Nick built them an igloo in the backyard at the old house in Warren. And this motherfucker was badass. It started with 2 giant piles of snow, and we started shaping them. I'm like, I think we could do this. I put like a plywood board on top. We built over it, and I still got a picture of it. I believe it's on Facebook somewhere. But it was like such a cool accomplishment. We spent all day out there with the kids, you know, and it was a good time with my brothers too. And it's just one of those moments. It's like we did something together, and it's like, you know what I mean? It was just a really, really cool moment. So yeah, I can't build much, but I could build the shit out of an igloo, I'll tell you that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Was it, remember Hollywood, was it like a little igloo thing, like a rad, like plastic thing, you pack snow into it and you build like these blocks with it, had like a little handle on it. Remember that, Hollywood? In our time, it was like an igloo maker, like a little snow packer.
Yeah, it was like a square.
And you can make like blocks
the blocks of snow. So
it looks like an igloo, and that's
this is all from scratch.
This is like labor intensive.
Yeah. I think we used a bucket at a time, so it kind of simulated that.
Okay. Do you
just
remember
to build
what I'm
the base.
about? So that's what you remember those things, right? Sal, we always played with those things.
It was just cool because it's from scratch. You know? It was like an idea, and we spent all day doing it.
And you get in there, and then you get that love sock out when no one's around.
No, it's too cold. Severe shriekage.
You got to
shout out to T sending us the freaking actual ad for a love sock. Great stuff, Sam. Thanks for reminding us. I know what you're getting for Christmas now.
Right.
Zamya.
Snooch.
So I have here's another one of mine. My father, my brother Anthony, and my brother Scott Michael, and me playing euchre at the house. And it was so damn funny because me and Scott would go against him and Anthony. And they can't beat us. Okay, well, you know, whatever. And Scott would always have this white shirt on. He'd always be laughing, taking it like this, head in there like this. And we'd be talking shit. And they think they got it. And Scotty would be like, what's this in my hand? And Anthony would be so pissed. They do? They must be cheating. Like, hey. And the wars that we would have. And we played for money. You know, we're playing $3. And we got to $5 a game and $2 euchre. And it was just so funny. We would sit there and play to the wee hours of the night. And the good times that we had drinking beers and, you know, bullshit. And I remember he would always be like, that's stupid, guys. I don't know how to play that game. I'm like, yeah, you can't. You're out of this, you know. He's more a poker player. But the times of that and all the good times like on a Saturday night or Sunday, it would consume a good 10 hours. And time would just fly by. You know, we'd eat shit, and that was one of my greatest moments of that was my euchre partner. Scotty was my euchre partner, and Pops had Anth, and we were partners before you. Well, you want Anth? This guy's like me and you.
Go run this thing.
Oh, there ain't no doubt, because even out in the streets, we go to different like bars and stuff, and they play euchre. We were partners.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't cheat or anything like that. It was just we knew each other's chemistry, what we could call them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that was amazing. I always keep that in my heart.
Yeah, Scotty was such a good. He was his temperament. I always remember this about him. He was so chill,
cool, man.
He was cool Joe, man. He was just like one of those kind of guys, like your brother Vince, Snapperhead. He had that temper that go from 0 to 100 in a matter of a drop of a hat. You got that same kind of vibe going.
Wonder where I got that from.
And there would be Scotty, smooth, man. He'd just be like taking a chill pill, man. Like, man, this dude's as chill as it gets right there, man. But I just remember that part of him, man. But
when you get him mad, it'd be like,
now you got a problem. Yeah, now you got a problem. That would be Scotty for sure, man. Rest in peace, brother. Good kid, man. So the next one I put on the list here, guys, was my brother. And another one my sister reminded me of. Her memory of childhood is more vivid than mine. It would be my brother used to set up a circus in the basement, or a carnival-like atmosphere. And I don't know if it was after he smoked 2 joints or something, but he always had this creative way. And he's like, "Don't come downstairs until I tell you to." And we're like, what the fuck's he doing down there? And like, we're kids, so we're like, okay, no problem. Door's shut, can't go downstairs.
Count 10 seconds.
And then lo and behold, man, it would be, he'd have a fucking circus set up, man. He'd have cups with ping pong. It was beer pong, basically. And then he had a ring toss, and then he had like these knockdown, like different, like he put up stuffed animals and shit like that. And he gave me a tennis ball. He's like, and I'm like, the prize would be like some Swedish goldfish. But as kids, it was cool because we just fucking destroyed the basement. And our parents, he was babysitting us and stuff, the older brother. And then he'd have all this crazy shit set up down there. And, he'd have it all set up and, all right, come on, step right up and get the ping pong balls. I'm like, what am I winning, Tommy? He's like, I got a half a fucking joint. I'm like, wait a minute, brats. I'm like, wait a minute, man. What else can we do? I got a Bee Gees album I could let you borrow for a day or something. It just, but yeah, he'd set up. But as a kid, it was fun and it was entertaining, and it was the simple things. Like, we didn't have Xboxes and PlayStations, and I had fucking the handheld football game, the little Coleco game.
Tecmo Ball.
Yeah, bro, that was our excitement. But
the baseball big stadium in your hand.
Yeah, dude, and manually keeping scores and writing shit down.
Batteries.
I'm dating myself, but the thing was my bro would do little crazy shit like that. His heart was in the right place, but his mind was fucked up, bro.
His mind was pickle.
I'm like, man, I was knocking down these. I was a big pickle
popper. You mean?
I was a beer pong champion before my time. I was sinking them, Philly. I'm telling you, it was great.
Number net,
and I got like 3 Swedish goldfish, my friend. Oh yeah,
very good water. I highly recommend Eternal.
Yeah,
Eternal,
great. Sammy's having great success, by the way, guys. Water. He's doing a great job.
Cool bottle, and you can see the Blue Mountains in.
Isn't that awesome? I told him, look at the flat side of that bottle. Look how that's made. That's conflict with the interest with another beverage guy here.
Got this swirls up the side.
By the way, Sammy, if you want to help us with sponsors, bottles, waters are great, but we need some help over here.
You know what I like too?
What do you like about
the swirls on the side of like the water?
Yeah,
it's for the gripping.
It is good. Cool. It is good water though.
Yes, very good.
Very good water.
Good water.
Yeah, so that was my number 3 right there.
Nice.
No, that's a good one. Another one I have is so many memories. I can't just pick one, but the family trips up north. We took a brother's trip 2 years ago. Had a great time. I got a picture framed upstairs. All 4 of us tubing and just laughing, busting each other's chops. I tried to jump the tube and tackle Jeff off, and I fucking rolled over the big fish. There's no way I was tackling him.
You retired from tubing that year, wasn't it?
I think
that summer was your last tubing summer?
I was in good shape, too, but that kicked my ass, man. But just too many memories to count up there. I remember one of the trips. So Moose, who's a big fan of the show, shout out to you. And So we're like, yeah, we'll catch up with you guys. They wanted to go tubing. We're like, hung over and just, we'll get there. You know what I mean? You're up north. You're on up north time. So we go maybe an hour later, and there's like one quick turn, and fucking Moose has the kayak flipped over, and Nick's just fucking red hot, dude. Ears are fucking red as that banner, man. And he's just pissed. I'm never fucking doing this again, man. This is bullshit. So they literally got like 30 feet that whole time in about an hour because he couldn't stroke the kayaks.
Bro, you know who's a fucking
Me, Jeff, and Andrew were dying, man.
Andrew is an ace at that shit, man. That kid scares me. I watch him tube, and I mean, he's almost like theatric, doing it like something out of like Circus Olay, like shit. I'm watching him behind, Drew was running the freaking boat up there one summer, and fucking Drew is jumping from one tube to the next. I'm like, this kid's gonna hurt himself.
No, he's outdoorsy, man. That's what he does.
He's all about, man, motocross. He loves winter sport.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I know he listens to the show. Lil Drew, man, stud.
That's my guy, man.
That's a great kid right there.
Yeah, so many, man. Every time we bring friends up there, you remember Bobo, right?
Yeah, Bobo.
So I had his ass on the tube.
I don't know who Bobo is. Who's Bobo?
But anyway, motherfucker lost his drawers on the tube, man. Hit a wave, popped up in the air, ass all out in the air.
Come on, man.
This is the first time Traverse City see the black moon, man.
Can't do this
That's
no more.
my dog, man. He'll be on the show one day, but yeah, that shit was so funny, man. Dying, dude.
Oh,
Nice.
Gosh, Bobo
That's a
loves his
classic.
draws.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bobo.
Shout out.
Poor Bobo. He was
Struggling.
Yeah, man. Shout out to those times up north.
That's what I'm saying, but I believe the fourth one, right? My fourth one here. 2002, playing at Barrymore's with all of my brothers on the field at once playing.
nice.
That was the first time since playing like in the lot and stuff that we were actually all together playing on the field. And we, of course there's 5 of us. So we ate half of the lineup. And at an older age, every one of us playing was sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I can feel that.
You guys were like a dynasty, man.
Yeah, so it was me on the mound, Vinny was at third, Scotty was at second, Ant was at first, and Ricardo was shortstop back then. Until Toast took over, you know what I mean? When size just caught up to him.
Put some respect on
But
my
he was
name.
good Ricardo was a good shortstop.
I remember those days, though.
Yeah, he had the length and he just. But to see the whole field, besides the catcher, infield was taken up, that was a sweet moment. That was very sweet.
I bet.
I could
Yeah.
feel that because something like that's like a memory that's going to always be etched in your brain,
there's
bro.
no doubt, yeah.
Like just to know that you had, your brothers out there, and even if they weren't announcing your name, it was like, how many fucking Rubios are on this team, man?
right, yeah.
Well, they got the whole roster, right?
Right.
Like I said, it's half the team. But
And I remember Vinny gets up and he just hits his bomb, and everyone's like,
good athlete, man. Good athlete.
like, I mean, they weren't just home runs; they were bombs.
Yeah.
Like the ball went from softball to a golf ball.
Yeah.
That's how much power he had.
No, he's strong. That's you right now, man, because you got them big arms and shit. All good athletes. All you guys were good athletes. When you talk about your sports days,
That was that holds dearly in my heart.
Yeah.
That day, 2002, and
yeah,
it was just amazing.
Can you still remember that moment? Like, can you put yourself back there?
Oh
and
yeah, I could
visualize
see
it?
we were at Diamond 2.
see, he
And-
remembers the diamond.
In the corner with the weed all over there and everything like that, and Pops was there, and he'd come up standing over there watching all that.
I could picture your
You're like,
pop.
boy,
God
get
damn it,
there,
boy!
yeah.
God damn it, Sal!
Yeah, and it was just it was so fun because I think it was I had my leadoff hitter, then I had Scotty batted 2, and then Vinny batted 4, and then Ant was like 5, and I batted towards the end. I had the other guys filling, but it was just great. And then the Wilsons were there, so it was them brothers, and then you know what I'm saying. And it was just it was amazing, and that was the first time and last time.
Yeah, but
That-
it's
you know what I mean?
you got a memory, man. Too
Yeah.
bad you guys. Did you ever get a picture of you guys all together?
Yeah, I think there was a picture. Yeah, and then I think Vince left. He went somewhere, and then we ended up with a Yankee that had me and the Carlos
Vince
Scott.
left and Hollywood grabbed the chick out of stands like, hey, come on and sit in on this spot, man. I need some bitch on my arm, man.
I think he went back home in order, you know. He's like, oh, man, can you hang around for the game? We'd love to have you play, man.
Yeah.
Just to be, you know. And
No, it's so cool, man, because like those are the kind of things. Like I feel like in that era, and you probably knew people like this too, like a brotherhood, like what he's talking about. Like I've known a lot of these people that had 2 and 3 brothers, and just to have, you're lucky, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're living that still currently, and you are too. I mean, but everybody's moved on. You know, your brother's out of state and all that other shit, but. With having that nucleus of brotherhood, man, it's inseparable, man.
No,
it's
there's
just
moments
something
that you'll never forget.
You
That's
love
why
each
it's
other,
great.
you hate each other, you want to kick the shit out of each other, you want to hug one another, but then you got those memories, man. But if I felt like that was an era, like, you know, maybe not an era, but a time where I remember several people like you and your brothers, the Tocos, and a couple other people that I knew, the Messinas, guys that I grew up with that had multiple siblings, brothers, you know, and like, dude, it was like you didn't want to fuck with them, because if you messed with one, you messed with them all, right? Do you feel that? And so I always felt like that was kind of a situation. Like if someone crossed the line, go take care of this. Don't you worry about it.
Across that Rubio's, man.
That's it, man.
And it would be no different than you, Philly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, someone messed with the wrong person, man. It's going to be some hell to pay. I don't
No.
give a shit who you are or what you think you are, but you're going to find out who you're messing with, right? So I respected that, man. I always thought that was really cool.
And I never knew, you know, you come with a bunch of brothers and you're like, I wonder what it's like to be like you, because you're the only child. You get everything. I got to fight through this with my, you know what I'm saying?
I feel sorry for the only child.
But then that kid's going, no, you don't want to be, I'd like to be you. I wish I had all your
Right, I wish I got spoiled right and got the best of everything because I'm the only kid. But I don't know. I knew a guy that was the only child, and I just felt like over the top spoiled, man. Like he got whatever he wanted anytime he wanted, and I'm like, that would have never played in my house.
Well, it's cool to have 4, right, or 5 or 6, whatever, because you're all different. You probably can attest to this. You have different relationships with all of them.
There was 6 of us.
But if you just have like one, you know what I mean, like, you could not get along or whatever, you know. But when you have multiple,
he's looking at me. He's so ugly.
Well, look at the pictures that you've taken up in Glen Lake. Some of these pictures of like these 4 guys shirtless.
Yeah,
you're looking at, in my mind, he's still a little kid, but he's not a little kid. You know, I picture you still as the younger guy.
Yeah.
But then you see them now; they're like men. They're muscles, and they got beards, and they're strong. And you look at these pictures. You look at some of that shit in 20 years from now, and it's going to be like, God damn, where did time go? Yeah, it's just
it's crazy,
dude.
It's crazy.
No, I cherish it though, man.
Yeah, very special stuff right there, guys. So, one that I remembered with siblings and friends combined, because we were a tight group of people in the Ville, man. We did everything as a family, as friends, and whether it was a sister or brothers, the Gratiot Drive-In. God, man, we never had a lot of money, but it was easy to figure out a way to get into the old Gratiot Drive-In, and that was simply, who's getting in the trunk this time? So we'd sneak people in, and I think they eventually came onto that stuff and realized that people
get off that 94, man, go in that ditch, man.
Yeah, man. You know, that dip right there, where, you know, I'm talking about it. Man, I miss those days. And so it was me and my buddy Chuck Lineberger, and this had nothing to do with my sister on this one. So we were double dating, right? And my girl was going to meet me up there. So him and Sonia drove, and I said, man, can I tag along with you, Chuck? I'm going to meet my girl up there. He's like, well, yeah, I guess you can go. And I didn't have any money. I forgot my money at home. Well, Chuck wasn't about to pay for me, man. He's taking his girl out a date. I said, I'll jump in your trunk. But before we went to the Gratiot Drive-In, we went to the Detroit Italian Bakery and got some of the greasy pizzas in the paper bag, the brown bag, you know what I mean? The cheese pepperoni special for $4.99, and he threw them in the trunk with me. Well, on his way into the Gratiot Drive, and he's hitting every pothole in this. And I'm laying on my side in the trunk, and my head's bouncing off the pizzas. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh,
damn,
man.
you.
And I smashed the shit out of the pizza. So when I finally got into the drive-in, I got out of the trunk, and I brought the pizzas. I said, Chuck, man, see, what's all over your face, man? That grease coming off the side of my face. Oh, yeah, man. That pizzas were mashed.
You remember
and
how they used to
mangled.
have that white paper that was clear paper they put on it? The degrees.
And there was never one pizza that was the same, dudes. I'm telling you, every pizza was different in shape because they didn't give a fuck, but it was cheap.
Yeah.
And you bought it for it was the
best.
original hot and ready, right? But it was the best Italian bread, sauce, cheese, pepperoni. That was it. And they slide it in that bag like how
We don't have enough of them anymore.
No, bro. And I remember that. And it's like my whole side of my face was like red from like the sauce, and it was oozing through the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Chuck looks at me and goes, "Bro, what happened to you, man?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. You were hitting on them potholes." And he opened up the bag, and the cheese all came off the top of the pizza. And I was going to go meet my girl, man, so I had to clean myself up. So I ended up going into the freaking, bathroom, and I'm looking at myself. Back then, I had a comb, Philly, believe it or not.
You don't say.
One of those big, one of them kind of big combs, Hollywood, the black combs with them big spokes, and you slicking that feathered hair back and everything, man. I got grease up in my brow.
Shit.
I'm like, shit, man. Give me a piece of that pizza before I go meet my girl, man. But, dude, we go to the drive-in. We never watched the motherfucking movie. It was all about getting some, having fun, laughing. We'd sneak the brew in. We'd all be having a good old time. And there was nothing better than the simple, easy shit you would do with friends and family. My sister would show up. She's like, "What happened to your face?" I'm like, "I ain't gonna talk about this right now." But just
it's the little things, man.
Yeah, you got them flashback memories. They come back, and I was like so broke I couldn't afford a $4 ticket to a drive-in.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah, drive-ins were cool.
I think that would be huge.
I just don't know if it would fit well with this era.
But they do it time to time up at Freedom Hill over here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've seen the big inflatable they put up there.
It's like every weekly, like a Wednesday or Thursday.
I drove that coming here to the podcast. See, what they got on the TV, man.
What they got over there, man?
That's some kind of fuzzy bed.
Right.
When they play Jumanji, man.
Right.
Titanic and shit, man.
Yeah, I think it would be a cool thing, but sometimes history has a tendency, Hollywood, to repeat itself.
You would think. I mean, that would be a great grand opening. What do? You come back with Grease Lightning and just, for your grand opening.
Yeah.
When originally came out there, King Kong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Every which way but loose. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Thinking you go, hey, we're going to go to the drive-in.
Boogie Nights, man.
Back that truck up into the seats, man.
But I got the dick bigger than that guy. Know what I'm saying?
Pop that hole in the bottom of that popcorn, man.
They're losers.
You know what I'm saying? My next one is 2 trips. So one was Cleveland, Nick, Brent, and you were there.
Oh yeah, man! Our road trip to watch.
Me and
the
Nick
Lions
still
and the
talk
Browns.
about that, man. Cleveland was a great time. Hollywood, you love downtown
that
Cleveland.
was so much fun.
I'm sad, but
it was a great time. And then also Las Vegas, where Justin, Troy, I got to see Troy. Our long lost friend, she was like a sister to me, Danielle. You remember her? I grew up with her, so I got a chance to kick it with her for a bit, and that was just super dope. I remember Jeff getting all nervous when we were on the world's highest. What the fuck was that thing called? The skyscraper thing? No, it's like this thing where you go up. Oh, it was a Ferris wheel. Yes. You're in this big globe, and you're going around. You can see the whole city.
Yes,
You can see the desert. You can see the mountains.
Freaky.
And Jeff's getting anxiety and shit, But just walking around down there, it was a little weird because it was 2020. So there was still a lot of kickback. Or 2021, I think. It was months later, maybe almost a year later.
I seen that thing, Philly, last time I was in Vegas, and I looked up because we walked close there to it.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck no. You went on anything?
Oh, yeah, we did it, man.
How drunk were you?
We did the roller coaster. I wasn't drunk when I did that. No.
So I couldn't do it, man, even sober or drunk. I just said, no way, man.
We gambled a bit. We won some, lost some.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun, though. I know that. There was some shit that was closed down, but just being together in halfway
how many
across the
people
country.
were on a strip doing this?
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do that. Yeah, I know. I miss those days, man. Vegas used to hand off these cards with these escort girls on it. I'd be walking down the strip.
Picking a little bit.
I'm like, God damn, she's hot. And the one guy's like, yeah, they don't look anything like that when you order them up. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we went down to
I'm with my wife. I don't know what you're talking about with
What do we see? Don't hurt yourself over there.
I'm talking about that Vegas, man.
More than mine, little bit.
I'm talking about that strip, man.
You know what I'm saying, man?
We good.
We saw, what's his name? D's Nuts just walking down the street.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
Goofy motherfucker, man.
Wow.
But,
nuts split in the middle and everything else.
Yeah, everything else, man.
I would love to go on a fucking weekend trip with this man to Las Vegas. I would just love it if we flew out on a freaking Thursday night, do a Friday night, a Saturday night, and make a trip back.
You lose your mind, Hollywood.
We need to plan it. I'm just saying.
You got to get this guy out the Ville, but
yeah, I'm telling you, Hollywood, it wouldn't cost you less than $1,000, and you'd have spending money, and you'd have a ball.
Tear it up out there, Hollywood.
But I think you got to do it with the fellas. I really believe you got to make it out there with a group of dudes, man, just to have a good time. It's a guys' weekend.
Because if it was regular time, yeah, we'd be at the Cat House, we'd be on rooftops and
everything.
Yeah,
man, you guys be doing HBO specials and whatnot.
It'd be the Hangover 4, man.
The castle.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What I'm saying, man. Hollywood's big be at the Trump Towers, man.
Hey, anybody see? I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, man.
He's over there swinging wood in the Trump Towers, man.
Is that going to be on TV?
I don't know about Hollywood, but I tell you what, I see the guy called a mushroom.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a new feature in Vegas. It's Hollywood's mushroom. Fuck the spear.
The boy got a hit on him.
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Hollywood, round it out, bro.
All right, here's my last one. Well, I got two real quick ones.
Yeah.
The one, we had a pool table in a bar in our garage and all that growing up, was my father and all my brothers at the table and playing poker together. Everyone was there. Pops, he enjoyed it. Said, I have my boys here. And this is one of the greatest moments to have my boys here sitting there, with me playing poker. And last but not least, was when me and Ant went on the road in 1996 and we battled up. We made the finals and we fought up in Rapids. And how we were perceived up there, and it was an honor to be up with Floyd Mayweather and everything. And my brother fell short the night before, but I picked up the pieces the final night and took it all home. And that was so gratifying to be there as teammates, me and him together. And it was sad, you know what I mean? But as an older brother, I'm like, it's okay, I'm going to pick it up, because we win together, you know what I'm saying? And he deserved to win as well. And we bunked together and stuff like that. And it was so dramatic, and the crowd, just the acceptance, how they were chanting our name. And it was a beautiful thing. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that moment that me and him shared as fighters, and being up in there. What amazing time.
That's awesome.
That was great.
Yeah,
that's time. Yeah.
Super cool stuff, man. Love hearing these types of stories. This is a great topic.
Yes.
For my last one, it was being at my grandmother's house. Now, you got to remember, my grandmother never came from much. She didn't have a lot of money, but no matter what, as kids, we always felt like she was a millionaire. She always made sure we had, whether it was when we were little, she'd take us downtown Hamtramck. We'd go to Kresge's, and I remember they had a downstairs. There was an entryway, big doors you'd go in, right? And you'd walk down the stairs. That's where the toy department was. So, Grandma, I want to go get a toy. And me and my sister, and she had the Barbie doll in her hand, and I had like a toy helicopter, a little fire truck, and not knowing the magnitude of where her poverty level was at and what she really didn't have for money. Mm-hmm. But no matter what, it was always, we got treated like she was some royalty, man. She made us feel like we were special. And having that, and as a kid, you don't realize how important that stuff was. And it was the simplest shit, you know?
Now, was that the one that lived in Hamtramck?
Yeah, that's my babcia. That's my Polish grandmother. And but whatever we did with her, it always was special, especially like during holiday times like Easter and stuff like that. It was great, man.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
That was really good stuff right there.
Yeah.
I love that, man. So it's kind of accumulation for my 5. It's just a couple random ones, but like the New Orleans Saints game when they played the Lions. Remember when Drew Brees was here and we were dead to rights. We actually tailgated with you for a bit, tore up downtown.
Oh yeah,
and we had such a blast. But we were getting ready to leave, and then they score again. It was a Stafford to Tate last minute touchdown, and we ended up winning at home. And man, the party was amazing. Downtown was on fire, and I believe that was the playoff year, so that was a lot of fun. And it was me, Jeff, Nick, Justin, and yeah, we had a great time. What else I got? Oh, Uncle Anthony's wedding I wanted to mention, because that was the first time I really got to hang out with my brother and sister that I don't get a chance to see. And we got to know each other and just had a blast that night. You know, we talked music, we talked life, you know, just vouched that, hey, man, whatever happens, we'll always keep that open door policy. So, and it's still like that to this day, so that's really good. And, yeah, the holidays, you know, and the holiday bowl, you know, it's something I look forward to. And when my brothers can come out, Nick, Jeff, and Andrew were all there this year, so that was really cool. So we got a chance to share that together again, so that was awesome. Even though I still didn't get the fucking dub, but, you know, that's another story.
Something wrong with the boy. Boy, mine put, I don't know if his name Putz or Putz.
Yeah.
Poots or Putz.
Yeah, there's so many moments, man.
Yeah,
you know?
and the more guys you think, you start to bring back more things as memories come and go, and you're like, oh shit, just having to talk to my sister today for that 10-minute time frame. She goes, you need more?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I think I got enough, man. I could come up with 5, maybe 1 honorable.
And they're good. They're good. I mean, there's so much more. I mean, these are just highlights.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all. Just highlights. There's so many more different. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on.
Right. And so
100%.
what does it take from a topic like this on tonight's podcast is cherish those memories, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
cherish them, man,
absolutely.
because this is what you'll take in your old age, and you'll have that talk with somebody down the road about you and your brothers playing on the same diamond for one and only time as a memory, or
Love that.
you guys doing crazy shit and causing trouble at where you used to live, or doing stuff, you know, on a road trip or something like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's all about,
Yeah.
right? That's truly what it's all about. So value that time.
Absolutely.